The desert sun burns over a crumbling chapel, its bell silent. A lone rider, cloaked in black, dismounts. Dust swirls around his boots. He clutches a worn Bible, his face shadowed by a wide-brimmed hat. He came to pray, seeking solace in a lawless land. The wind whispers of trouble, but he steps toward the chapel door, unaware of the storm brewing in the town beyond. Inside, the chapel is dim, lit by flickering candles. The stranger kneels at a weathered altar, his Bible open. His lips move in silent prayer, seeking forgiveness for a past stained with blood. The creak of floorboards breaks his focus. His hand twitches toward the revolver at his hip, but he stays still. A shadow moves in the pews, someone's watching, waiting for the right moment. Outside, the town of Red Hollow stirs. 3 outlaws, led by scar-faced Caleb, ride in, their spurs clinking. They've heard of a bounty on a man matching the stranger's look. Caleb's eyes gleam with greed. He's in the chapel, a townsfolk whispers, pointing. The outlaws grin, hands on their guns. They don't know he came to pray, but they'll soon learn he's no ordinary preacher. The stranger's prayer ends. He senses danger, like a wolf smelling a trap. Rising, he tucks the Bible into his coat. His eyes scan the chapel, empty, yet heavy with threat. A glint of steel catches his eye through a cracked window. Caleb's men are circling, their boots crunching on gravel. The stranger's jaw tightens. He didn't come for a fight, but he's ready if it comes. Caleb kicks open the chapel door, his revolver drawn. "You the prayin', man?" He sneers. The stranger stands calm, hands loose at his sides. "Just passin' through," he says, voice low. Caleb laughs, but his men shift nervously. There's something about the stranger's eyes, cold, unyielding, like a man who's faced death and walked away. The air grows thick with tension. The stranger steps forward, boots echoing on the wooden floor. "Leave now, and no blood spills," he warns. Caleb scoffs, cocking his gun. Big words for a preacher. The stranger's hand hovers near his revolver, fingers steady. He doesn't want this, but the Lord knows he's no stranger to violence. The chapel, meant for peace, now hums with the promise of a gunfight. Outside, townsfolk scatter, sensing the storm. A woman clutches her child, whispering prayers of her own. The outlaws, horses snort, tethered to a post. Caleb's men flank the chapel, one at the window, another at the side door. The stranger knows he's surrounded. His mind races, prayer won't save him now, but his gun might. He takes a deep breath, ready for what's next. Caleb fires first, a shot splintering the altar. The stranger dives behind a pew, his revolver drawn in a flash. Bullets tear through the chapel, shattering stained glass. The stranger returns fire, precise and deadly. One of Caleb's men falls, clutching his chest. The stranger mutters a prayer for the man's soul, even as he reloads. Faith and gunfire clash in the sacred space. The side door bursts open. The second outlaw charges, shotgun blazing. The stranger rolls, wood splinters flying. He fires twice, and the outlaw crumples. Caleb roars, enraged, unloading his revolver. The stranger's hat is shot off, revealing a scarred face. He came to pray, but his past as a gunslinger won't let him go. He moves like a shadow, lethal and unshaken. Silence falls, broken only by Caleb's heavy breathing. The stranger stands, revolver smoking. "Last chance," he says. Caleb spits, defiant. "You ain't walkin' out." The stranger's eyes narrow. He doesn't want to kill again, but Caleb's greed leaves no choice. The chapel, once a haven, is now a battlefield. The stranger's heart aches for peace, but his hand is steady. Caleb lunges, firing wildly. The stranger sidesteps, his shot finding Caleb's shoulder. The outlaw staggers but doesn't fall. "Who are you?" Caleb gasps. The stranger doesn't answer. His past is a ghost he can't outrun, a bounty hunter turned penitent, seeking redemption. But the gunfight pulls him back. He fires again, and Caleb drops, alive but beaten. The stranger exhales, weary. The townsfolk peer from doorways, stunned. The stranger steps over Caleb, holstering his gun. He retrieves his Bible from the floor, its pages stained with dust. He came to pray, but stayed for a gunfight. Now, he must leave. The townsfolk watch in silence as he mounts his horse. The chapel bell tolls once, as if mourning the violence. The stranger rides off, into the desert's embrace. The desert stretches endless before him, a sea of sand and sin. The stranger's thoughts return to his prayer, unfinished. He wonders if God heard him, or if the gunfire drowned it out. His revolver feels heavy, a reminder of the life he tried to leave. Red Hollow fades behind him, but its scars linger. He rides toward the horizon, seeking a place to pray without bloodshed. Back in town, Caleb's men are dragged away, their fate uncertain. The townsfolk whisper of the stranger, a preacher, a killer, or both. The chapel stands quiet, its altar chipped by bullets. A woman kneels there, praying for peace. The stranger's shadow lingers, a mystery unsolved. Some say he'll return, others hope he won't. His story is already becoming legend. Night falls, and the stranger camps under the stars. His fire crackles, casting shadows on his face. He opens his Bible, reading by firelight. The words offer comfort, but the weight of his sins remains. He came to pray, but the gunfight proved he's still bound to his past. He wonders if redemption is possible, or if every chapel will lead to another fight. A coyote howls in the distance, echoing his solitude. The stranger traces the scars on his hands, each one a story of survival. He didn't choose this path, but it chose him. The Bible lies open, its pages fluttering in the wind. He prays again, asking for strength to walk away from violence. But deep down, he knows the next town might bring another gunfight. Dawn breaks, painting the desert gold. The stranger saddles his horse, his resolve hardened. He'll keep riding, seeking a place where prayers aren't interrupted by gunfire. His revolver stays close, a necessary burden. The chapel in Red Hollow was a test, one he passed, but at a cost. His faith is unshaken, but his soul is tired. He rides on, chasing redemption. In Red Hollow, the chapel is repaired, its wounds patched. The townsfolk speak of the stranger in hushed tones. Some call him a savior, others a curse. Caleb, nursing his wounds, vows revenge. The stranger's name is unknown, but his legend grows. A child finds a bullet casing in the chapel, a relic of the gunfight. The town will never forget the man who came to pray. The stranger's journey takes him to a new town, its saloon buzzing with life. He avoids it, heading for another chapel. Inside, it's quiet, but his instincts scream of danger. He kneels, Bible in hand, but his gun is ready. The cycle continues, prayer and violence, faith and survival. He wonders if he'll ever find peace, or if every chapel will lead to a gunfight. A new threat looms. Bounty hunters, drawn by Caleb's tales, track the stranger. They don't know he came to pray, only that he's deadly. The stranger senses their approach, his hand resting on his revolver. He didn't ask for this life, but he's prepared to face it. The chapel doors creak, and he stands, ready. Another gunfight awaits, but his faith remains his anchor. The bounty hunters enter, guns drawn. The stranger's voice is calm. Leave, and live. They laugh, unaware of his skill. The chapel becomes a battleground again, bullets tearing through sacred silence. The stranger moves like a phantom, his shots precise. One hunter falls, then another. The third flees, cursing. The stranger kneels again, praying for their souls. Blood stains the chapel floor, a grim reminder of his curse. The stranger wipes his revolver, his heart heavy. He came to pray, but violence follows him like a shadow. He leaves the town before more hunters come. The road ahead is long, each step a battle between his faith and his past. He clings to the Bible, hoping it will guide him to a place of peace. Days pass, and the stranger rides through canyons and plains. His thoughts are haunted by Red Hollow, by the men he's killed. He stops at a river, washing his hands as if to cleanse his sins. The Bible rests on a rock, its pages worn but unbroken. He prays for forgiveness, for a chance to be more than a gunslinger. The water is cold, but it offers no answers. A new town appears, its chapel steeple piercing the sky. The stranger hesitates, fearing another fight. But his faith pulls him forward. Inside, the chapel is empty, peaceful. He kneels, praying with fervor. For a moment, he feels unburdened. But hoofbeats outside break the silence. More trouble, more guns. He sighs, hand on his revolver, ready to face whatever comes. The newcomers aren't hunters, but desperate townsfolk. They beg the stranger for help, a gang threatens their home. He wants to refuse, to focus on his prayers. But their fear moves him. He agrees, knowing it means more bloodshed. The chapel, his refuge, becomes a war room. He came to pray, but duty calls him to fight. His Bible stays close, a reminder of why he endures. The The gang arrives at dusk, their laughter cruel. The stranger stands in the town square, revolver ready. The townsfolk hide, praying for deliverance. The gang's leader, a hulking brute, mocks the stranger's calm. "You a preacher?" he sneers. The stranger doesn't answer. When the shooting starts, his precision is unmatched. The gang falls, and the town is saved. The townsfolk thank him, offering food and shelter. He declines, his eyes on the chapel. He returns to pray, his heart torn between gratitude and guilt. The Bible's words comfort him, but the weight of his gun is ever present. He leaves at dawn, the townsfolk watching in awe. His legend grows, a man of faith and fire, forever caught between prayer and gunfights. The desert stretches on, relentless. The stranger's horse is weary, but he pushes forward. He dreams of a chapel where he can pray without interruption, where his gun can stay holstered. Each town tests his resolve, each fight chips away at his hope. Yet his faith endures, a flicker in the darkness. He reads his Bible nightly, seeking strength to keep going. A storm brews as he nears another town. Lightning cracks, illuminating a chapel on a hill. He rides toward it, rain soaking his coat. Inside, he kneels, praying for an end to the violence. The storm rages, but the chapel is a haven. For now, no guns, no threats. Just a man, his Bible, and his hope. He knows the peace won't last, but he savors it, clinging to his faith. As the storm clears, the stranger mounts his horse. The chapel stands silent, a brief respite in his endless journey. He came to pray, but the gunfights follow. His Bible is his compass, his revolver his shield. Redemption feels distant, but he rides on, chasing a day when he can pray in peace. The horizon calls, and the stranger answers, ready for whatever lies ahead.